Welcome to week 3, and in this week we're working with auxiliary views. Now this is a continuation of what we did last week. We started working on folding plane lines, and that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to actually use those folding plane line method that I showed you, and we're going to build an auxiliary view from that. Now what is an auxiliary view? Alright, auxiliary views, just like if you look at the screen right now, they are useful for both design and documentation. Many objects are shaped so that the principal faces are not parallel to the standard planes of projection. When we talk about standard planes of projection, that's just your regular top, front, right side, left, back, rear, all that good stuff. Well, this object right here is a primary example. No view of the standard 6 can show this face in its true projection. It'll all be foreshortened. I don't care if you do the front or the right side, it's all going to be foreshortened. You're going to see ellipses in each one of those if you're wanting to try to see this face. So we got to take, and this line right here is going to be our primary auxiliary line. It's going to be our primary auxiliary plane, and we fold out to that so that you can see this thing straight on, just like you're looking at it right on it. And that's what we have right here when we project out on that plane. That way you can get the dimension of this hole, exactly what this radius is, and all that good stuff. And you're going to see more of the auxiliary views in mechanical drafting than you will anything. We'll go to the next screen. The next one is showing you the glass box theory. And again, appears your horizontal plane. We've talked about that many times. And there's my top view. Here's my front view. There's the frontal plane. And then you see how we took this and made this our primary auxiliary plane. And you see how this glass box folds out. Now if you look up here, if you're looking at this inclined surface here, you look straight up. See how it's foreshortened here? On the side we just see the edge view of this. But on here over an auxiliary plane, we're seeing this area, this little plane here, we're seeing it in its true shape and size. And that's where the auxiliary methods come into play. Again, last week we talked about the auxiliary, the fold plane line. Right here it is, coming right through here, and this one we're showing it coming down right through here. Now remember something, we're looking at this. Remember how I told you top is the depth? Well, we're using this auxiliary. We're going to put this auxiliary view in place of the right side view. We're just transferring that depth. We just didn't transfer it all the way down to a right side. We paralleled it up with this line right here, and you're seeing that. And of course, this distance to this distance is the same as this distance to this distance. So we can take measurements off of it, like from here to the outside, to get your overall depth of the object and draw this. So I want to show you that right here in this drawing that I've got. Now this is just a basic little drawing. This is what they call a diamond dresser holder for a surface grinder. It's a machine tool, and you got to be able to dress the wheel on these surface grinders, and you do it with a diamond. It's a diamond dresser, and it's a 3/8 inch diameter. You stick it down in this hole. Of course, I don't have it drawn on here. You'd have to have a set screw to hold it, but it comes up at an angle, and looking at this, I can't see this plane at all. It's on an incline, right? And you see here's the true distance in the edge view, but I don't see the whole surface, the whole plane. This is foreshortened, and on my right side it's foreshortened. So I want an auxiliary view. Now to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset this line right here. Offset it up. something like a 1/2 of an inch. Something along those lines right there. And again, the distance from my fold plane line is 0.75. I want to hit offset this time at 0.75. Click on that to there. So this is going to be the start right here of my auxiliary line. Now, I should start this one back, and let's do that. Let's actually offset this 1 inch away from this. And then we'll offset, that'll be our fold plane, then 0.75 will be on that fold plane. That gets it up, and it gets it away somewhat from this top view. Now, what I would do at this point, we know it's 0.75, this is 0.75. I want to take, and I'm just going to take my line here, and I'm just going to manipulate a little bit. I want to throw me a line in. This is how I do it. And I want to extend those lines to that, just like that. Of course, this was my fold plane. I'm going to come up here and change that to my folding line. Just like that. And this is what I do. I go up, and according to the fold line method, what you have to do is kind of an old school method. Just go up here and hit linear, catch that to that, and it's 1.75, that distance. So you can take at this point, hit the offset 1.75, enter, and go off this 1.75. Now that depth would be exactly right. Of course, I'm just going to put that in as my, and I want to extend it on out to that point, just like that. Now I've got that in there. Now I just hit my line, and I'm going to go from this point. It'll be perpendicular up here, control, and hit perpendicular. There's that point. Line again from there, control. I want to hit perpendicular to that line right there. You see how that on that auxiliary view is kind of foreshortened. Do my line again. I want to make sure it's perpendicular once again. Uh-oh. That got a little skewed. Perpendicular. Straight up like that. And the last one, of course, would be this line back here. And I'd have to actually stretch this out a little farther. Again, I want to manipulate it a little bit. Use that. Shoot that line up there and that line up there. And you see it's kind of starting to get into this one just a little bit. My top view. So we'll have to adjust a few things here in just a minute. But take that line, go off this, control, perpendicular. Perpendicular. Catch that. And at this point, this is that object. Now, and I just have to do a little bit of trim work to it. Alright, that is the auxiliary view. Now this right here is the true space, and I want to go in here and I want to hide this fold line just for a moment. Now, you're asking me probably, and we could take, after we get this thing drawed up, we could probably be the best if we took and just moved this view up just a fuzz, just to get it out of the way. Then we can readjust a few things in your drawing. Now you can leave that right side view there if you want to. There's another thing I need to move up. Or you could leave it just something like that. Now, of course, our fold lines are completely off now, but we use that fold line at the beginning to be able to get our distances on there, and we just shot those things up. Now we just got to put the hole in this, which again come from this point, come straight up, hit your perpendicular to that line, catch the midpoint, and of course midpoint. There's the center point of our circle, and we'll put this circle in. It is 3/8, 0.375, or I could have projected it up. Oh, must have been on diameter. Center radius, and the radius was 0.1875. Enter. And if you were to project from this point up to there, that would be dead on the money. So now you have got an auxiliary view. This is the exact true shape of that auxiliary plane that we were looking at. So now you can go in there, add your dimensions in, or whatever you need to do for the manufacturing side to be able to create this part.